Good afternoon. Hello, how's it going? Please excuse the mess. We're going to look in here. This used to be a storage room at a certain point, and now it's going to become something a little bit different. What this is going to be is, well, nearly the last room, possibly the second from last room in the museum that is going to be done, and this is going to be called the Obsolete Sound Lab. Basically what it is it's going to just be another music room, but it has a door so it can close off, because I've been speaking of last year a little bit about doing residencies. I've already spoke about this place on Patreon, so you may know. If you aren't on that, then this is probably news to you. I've been planning residencies, but not had the best organisation regarding that. So building a room that is suitable for it. It's going to be the control room for the museum pretty much, and it's going to be called the Obsolete Sound Lab because it's mainly going to be, well, mostly DIY synthesizers and stuff, like the DIY kits and test equipment. We're going to have test equipment on the shelves here, and there'll be sections there, Barbies. And this is where the test equipment's going to go, right here. It's a bit of a mess. And then we go back here, and then this will be a control bit with synthesizers going here, synths. When the museum's open, people can just come in here. There will be a Cubase setup right here, Cubase 1.0 or whatever it's called. That's going to be sitting right there. And yeah, well, on a Atari computer probably. And it's just going to be open. We've already got quite a list already that we might be working through from the start of the year. Going to try and get it done by the start of the year. But if you're interested, please get in contact on the contact form. There's already quite a list, but we're going to work through it. Going to figure out how to make it work. But there's a couple of things to do before. And these things you probably haven't seen yet. They're projects that are working, that need to be done. The next video on the Look Mum No Computer channel is actually sorting out another DIY synthesizer kit that has been built, and fixing that up, and that's going to be put in here. That'll be an introduction into this place, going to sort it out a little bit more. But I just thought I should show you a couple of these things. Obviously you may know this one, the Powertran Transcendent Polysynth. It's gone up in smoke a couple of times since the video that was on this one. It's been, if you've come to the museum, you may have noticed this one. You may have been lucky to get to play on it. Other times it's gone and popped some smoke. I think there's a problem further down that hasn't been sorted yet, but we've got some chips turning up for that that's burnt up. All the capacitors are changed, so gonna tackle that next week when the chips have turned up. Royal Mail, you know how it goes. It's a little bit longer than usual. This one is actually quite an interesting one. It's from Wireless World 1973. You may have seen this. I went to pick this up last year. Unfortunately, it's not as well built as I was expecting. It's gonna need quite a bit of work. And I spent quite a while hunting down the actual physical copy of the magazine. I was helping an older fella cross the road, and I accidentally, when I was walking home, I put the magazine in the Zimmer frame, to help him cross the road. Walked off. He's ended up with the magazine that I spent ages trying to find, and you know, I don't know where the fella went. But hey, hopefully it's a nice surprise. Maybe they'll like it. It will be a nice read. But this is it's one of actually the first synthesizer projects to be covered in a magazine before they were offered as circuit board kits. So this will all be schematics and stuff, and then there would have been a strip board layout there. It's all strip board layout. It's quite an odd design. It's by the same fella, Mr. Orr, as the Powertrans, but previously this one's been called the Titan synthesizer, but it's the Wireless World 1973 DIY synthesizer. It does share a little bit in common with the Transcendent monosynth, the Transcendent 2000. But this has been set up a few times at the museum, mainly just to twist the knob and make it do things, because it's a little bit odd. Keyboard hardly works, a bunch of the things hardly works. It's going to be a tackle. It's just going to have to jump in and tackle when the time comes. But there's going to be a few at the time. And then there's this beast. This one picked it up earlier in the year with the and then the plan got a little bit delayed at sorting this one out. So it is a what is it? A 4600 ETI 4600 or Maplin 4600. It's not quite the 5600. However, there isn't that much difference between this one and the later one, which is the 5600. There's a couple of differences. I think it's a different filter. maybe reverb. No, because this has got reverb. There's a couple of differences off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody's going to comment it, so fire away. But this one, having looked at videos, I think this one has a better filter, if I'm honest. But, you know, each to their own. It's got a patch panel. And I have a feeling this one's going to be quite an easy job. I just need to get to it. It's the power supply's gone. So going to be putting a switched power supply in the back. It just needs plus and minus 15 volts. Each of them are treated as modules. So you just plug it in. There's a couple of other bits that go off to other things. I need to read a little bit, but it all runs over to the patch panel, and then you can internally patch everything. As you can see, the sad thing about this is it has got a missing oscillator, which is a bit of a shame, because first the priority is going to get it going and having 3 oscillators, because it's actually a 4 oscillator synthesizer, and then hopefully at some point find the circuit board, because you can build it, but it's quite specific knobs. You can etch these, you can actually download and etch them, but hunting down the certain chips and stuff. So if anybody's got a partially constructed one of these oscillators in their bits drawer, then please get in touch with the mount and such. It will just be a lot easier to just track it down. But it's not good. It wouldn't be out of the question, but that will be after getting it actually running. Also, it's missing, sadly, the joystick controller part, and that's going to be another part that, well, we'll focus on that after it gets running. There'll be a video I'm soon going to tackle this after the surprise DIY synthesizer that is going to be in the next Look Mum No Computer build video, and that is the introduction to this room. Down here are a couple of interesting ones. These are actually feedback instruments, test equipments. They're actually quite interesting. You may have seen these being used when Heimbach came over here. He used them with me, and we were messing around making sounds. You can make some interesting sounds, however. It definitely needs some lower frequency oscillators. I tried modifying the oscillators, but they seem quite suited for megahertz. So got a couple of similar, samey cases, and when the time comes, hopefully it will be soon. It's just knocking through that to-do list. Add a couple more oscillators to the circuit. It uses very small stackable cables. See if I've got a cable down here. Where's all the cables? Where's the cables? They're in here. They're in here somewhere. No, they're not. But these will probably be bolted all to a wooden panel. They might not be in here because it'll take a load of space up. But maybe they'll be put on the big wooden panel, all the power supplies put at the back, and then slid over, and then can be pulled out and put on a desk maybe, or maybe on the lower shelf of the desk that's going to be here. That could be it. I'm not sure yet. I don't know how much they're going to be used, but that is going to be in the realm of here. There's a bunch of other things. There's always a manner of items. This is an amazing item. I'm going to be putting a video on that together soon. There's the Fat Man and stuff like that. That will be plugged into the MIDI setup over here. A couple of test equipment. There's going to be lots of test equipment. As you can see, there's already a few, but there'll be a bunch of Brawling Cures. That's a thing. If right now got some awesome volunteers at the museum that have come over and like tinkering and fixing, and all of us, well, we all like either synthesizers or fixing computers and things like that. If anybody's in the area that is at all a bit of a sadist and is interested in fiddling around with some of the Valve electronics here, then please get in touch. As you know, there's only just the more the merrier. So if you feel like you've got a bit of time here and there, and you want to have a look inside some Brawling Cures or items like that, we've got all the capacitors. It's up to you. Well, just get in contact. No need to. Just if you're around. But this is going to be where the Brawling Cure setup is going to be. So test equipment, synthesizer, Cubase, synthesizer. Also, you'll remember that in another room here, there is some foreman. An awesome person by the name of Steve Clark got in contact. So they had a bunch of foreman modules. So this is going to expand the foreman synthesizer. This is going to be another video probably in the new year. But the DigiSound 80 and the Formant is going to come in here. The Formant's going to get expanded to fit all of these in. Formants are interesting because they never 100% work quite right. I've played on a few of them, and all of them are a little bit finicky, but it's going to be good. It's going to be nice. And there's a couple also of unfinished ones. This is going to be a bit of project to finish it. So I think we can probably get this and the current performance setup. It's going to be about 3 times as big probably. So it'll be like, I don't know. I can't do it with one hand. I reckon it'll be about 1 meter wide maybe. Might go on the wall, but it depends how it's going to fit sat with the Digisound 80. So this is going to be a project that will be over the next few months, and it's going to try and get it done as much as possible for January, February time, and start getting in contact with the folk that have been showing interest last year. Sorry about that, and seeing whether they want to or not. Spend a day or 2 here just to make some noises, make a little video at the end and stuff if they want, or a live stream, I'm not sure, and that'll be over on this channel as well. So if you want to get on the list, get in contact, get in touch, but there's already quite a few on the list, so I can't promise anything, but you may as well get your name down. Doesn't hurt. Get on that, and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna start small and work along. But yeah, so this is just a little video to show you that there is a bit of a progression on another room with some more synthesizers. Also, this room is going to have some daisy chains, some panels that go off to other parts. There's going to be all of the master clocks here are going to have a sync that comes in here. The organ room, for instance, will have a MIDI you can plug into the wall, and also a couple of fixed microphones on the organ that will come back into here. So if let's say you wanted to play some organ stuff, but you don't want to be in the organ room, and you wanted to just sit and, I don't know, write some organ malarkey and record it in, well, you can do it in here, even though it is about, I don't know, 10 meters, 15 meters that way. So I think that'll be good. And there'll be a bunch of other inputs and outputs. Also thinking of telephone line distortion, literally using the telephone exchange as a distortion run through. So you go through the exchange and come back in. That'll be pretty cool. There's a bunch of things, but hopefully it's gonna be on its way, but it's gonna be a burner. There'll be a lot of videos coming from this room in the foreseeable future. So yeah, if you want to get on it and you want to see stuff up to date beforehand, then go and check out over on Patreon, because the support is hopefully going to help fund being able to get the residencies going with, you know, just keeping it going and having people in and stuff without charging, basically, which is basically the plan. And at some point, maybe even, helping them out. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but let's take it step by step. So test equipment, synthesizers and things like that. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one when this is possibly a little bit more done. Anyway, take care. Have a lovely time. By the way, if you're interested, there's a electronics club this Tuesday coming up at the museum. It's from 6 o'clock. It's made for people with projects or ideas and they don't know what to do. Hopefully there's somebody that's going to come that might know, or you might be the person who might be able to have a solution for somebody else. That's the thing. It's trying to put people in contact with other people who maybe have problems or don't have problems or want help or want to help, kind of thing like that. If you want to come along to that, I'm going to try and make that possibly monthly or bi-monthly. We'll figure that out. And also there are open days at the end of the month as well if you want to come along in between Christmas and New Year. Anyway, that's it from today. Have a lovely time.